All right, so now what we're going to do is add some firewall rules. We need to add a rule here to the WAN that's going to pass all of our traffic. We'll leave that as TCP. So the source is anything from the WAN network, and the destination is this firewall self. What this allows is access to this firewall from things on the WAN network. So like the host computer. So we're going to add that. Okay. Then we got to apply. Now we're going to go to our rules, and we got to add a rule for our WAN, for our DMZ. So the first thing we need to do, let's rename our opt1 to DMZ. So let's go to the main status page here. So there's two ways to get there. You can go interfaces and then pick opt1 here, or you could click this link down here that says opt1. And we want to make that more readable. So right now it says opt1, but we know this is our demilitarized zone where our web servers are going to go. So we're just going to rename that just like that. We're going to save it. So that way it's a little more readable and understandable. So now, after we apply, oops, I clicked it twice. Ignore that error. Okay, so we have a WAN, a LAN, and DMZ. The IPs are right over here. That looks all good. So we want to add a DMZ rule. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go to the LAN, and we're going to look at this rule here, and we're going to make one just like it for the DMZ. And what this does is it allows the LAN to be any rule. So we could do it a couple of ways. We could edit this one and change the zone it applies from being LAN to the DMZ, or we could go and add a new one in the DMZ, or we could copy it. So what I'm going to do is kind of make a note here, IPv4. Okay, so I'm going to come over to the DMZ, and I'm going to add a rule. And that rule says we're going to pass DMZ traffic IPv4 any protocol. The source is the DMZ net, and the destination is any. Oh, actually, no, this is any, and that is any. So we want it to look just like that LAN one, but it's going to apply for the DMZ network. So let me save that, and then apply. And then we'll compare these. So what we wanted was IPv4 protocols, and then, oh, the source is supposed to be, let me edit. Oh yeah, it says DMZ. All right, so let's go look at the LAN. Let's make sure that that rule looks the same. The LAN and IPv4, oh, source is supposed to be DMZ net. All right, so let's come back over here. Let's edit this rule. And this is supposed to be DMZ net. Okay, there. Save it. Apply it to the firewall. All right, so now we have an outbound rule under the DMZ zone that says anything coming from the DMZ can go out. And that will allow us to get to the internet from our web servers that we're going to put on the DMZ. Now let's add one more rule. And because we don't want, so we have our LAN network, that's where all the corporate enterprise users are using their desktops. And we have our DMZ where our web servers are. We want the corporate users to be able to access the DMZ servers, but we don't want the DMZ servers to be able to access our corporate user, So what we do is we do a deny or a block, and we're going to come down here, and the source is the DMZ net, and the destination is the LAN net. So we allowed, the first rule allowed the DMZ to go anywhere, the internet, the LAN, the WAN, wherever. And now we're just adding one more rule so that people who are on the DMZ cannot get to the LAN computers. And the reason we do that is we don't want our web servers, if they're compromised, to be able to access those corporate enterprise desktop computers that are on the LAN or the local area network. So that's a block rule. So the first thing it says is, okay, if you're trying to go to the DMZ or to the LAN, you can't. Otherwise, let the DMZ traffic go where it will. Okay, so that's our DMZ rule. We have our LAN rule, and we have a WAN rule that allows us to access this firewall. So let's just test and make sure that when our firewall is enabled, so we're going to do a PFCTL-E. It's already enabled. Great. So the firewall isn't in fact, and in fact, we can access the web GUI like we wanted to. So that concludes how we set up the PFSense firewall and add the initial rules to it. In the next video, we'll go over how to configure the VPN configuration for OpenVPN. And what that will do for us is it will allow what would be simulated internet users to use a VPN client to remote through the firewall and access resources behind the firewall. So that will be next.